everyone, this is Susie with Creative Cafe, and I'm getting ready to show you all how I put together the monthly little book that I did. I don't have the album anymore with me, but it was the January, February, March out of the Graphic 45's Place and Time, and I called it the monthly album. So if you haven't seen it, just go to my YouTube channel and find that monthly album, and you can kind of see what it looks like. So but anyway, this is how I put it together, and what you'll need is 12 grocery bags, and I have a local Price Cutters, and they just gave them to me. I offered to pay for them, but they just gave me the bag. So anyway, that's where I got mine. And now I got 12, well actually I got about 14, so I'd have a couple extra. And it never hurts to have at least one extra bag in case you tear it or make a mistake. You know, something happens, you have at least one extra bag to work with. So it's going to take 12 grocery bags, maybe get you one or two for those just in case problems. My bags measured 16 3/4 by 11 3/4. They were 11 3/4 in well, folded. I call this the length, but I guess it would actually be the width if you've got it the other way. And then opened, it's 16 3/4. And these are the size of the bags that I have. So if your bags are close to this size, then the measurements I'm going to give you, are going to work fine. So anyway, to put the bags together, before I start that, I guess I should say, now this wasn't my idea, and I did get this from Tattered Rose Studio. She had made one, and hers was gorgeous. And I knew that when I seen it, that was what I needed to make at least one of the projects out of the Place and Time collection. So like I said, this isn't my idea, and I always like to give credit where credit is due. And I'm going to put her link, of course, in the description, and be sure and well, I'll give the link to the video. And look at hers, it's gorgeous. She did a lot more than what I did. And anyway, I want to be sure and give her credit for this. Now, she used an accordion fold for her binding, and I didn't. And I don't even know if she has a tutorial. I just knew, how I wanted to put mine together. So anyway, here we go. Each bag, once it's folded, now I used the flap on the same side each time. I didn't want to reverse them where when I put them together the flap was on the other side. I wanted each flap for my pocket to be on the same side each time I opened it. So here's how I put my bags together. I took the sticky strip, and of course I've got it folded, and my flap is going to my left side. And then I folded my other bag, same way, flap is going on the left side. And then I took sticky strip, and I'm not going to take sticky strip for the purpose of time here. But I took sticky strip, and I did sticky strip. I sticky stripped all the way around, and then I run a couple of pieces, of sticky strip in the center, just so it had a good hold and wouldn't come apart. Because when you get the 12 bags together with your binding, it is really a thick book, and so you want to make sure you use a really strong adhesive, that way it doesn't come apart on you. It'd be a shame to do all that work and then it fell apart. But anyway, once you have your sticky strip, and I always put it on the bag with the flap that I'm going to stick to my non-flap side. And then all I did was I just simply took them, and I made sure, because most of the bags are the exact same size, you don't have to worry about these large grocery bags being too much varied in size. So I just made sure I lined up my folds here, and then I just kind of opened it and then stuck it down. And then, like I said, you may have a little hangover, but they're basically the same size. And then, of course, I did distress with some, I just distressed with the Studio G from Michael's. I distressed around the edges of each bag, and I actually did that before I stuck my bags together. So, anyway, here is how you're going to attach each bag. And so the next bag that you attach, you're just going to take your fold side and you're going to sticky strip it to your non-fold side. And you're just going to do that through the whole album till you get your bags together. Okay, once you have your bags together, then before I bound mine, I actually went in and decorated each one. That's just how I did it. And for the paper, I used 2 sheets of 12 by 12 to do one layout here. So for my pocket piece, I had my piece and it measured 6.5 by 11 1/4. 6.5 wide by 11 1/4 down. Okay, and this goes in my pocket. Now when I put mine in, I did put it all the way in the pocket. Now if you're saving on paper, you may want to not make it as wide, but I like mine to go all the way down in the paper. Now because I use the Graphic 45 Place in Time and I offset mine with the back cardstock and craft, I left my bag showing. Excuse me, I've got a little bit of a cold, so bear with me. But anyway, I left part of my craft showing on my bag because I just wanted it to. So if you don't want that, then you just need to make yours longer than 11 1/4. Okay. And then this was one sheet of 12 by 12 that I cut this off. This is my other sheet of 12 by 12. And it is what I actually overlapped here. And it measures 7 3/4 by 11 1/4. And it overlaps the pocket piece. Okay. Now, because you have this little cutout here, I don't know if you like to measure. I can pretty well eyeball, but if you're not one of those that likes to do that, kind of get you a pencil and just make a couple of little marks here where you don't really want to put any kind of sticky right here so that it's not sticking to this other bag, because I use this pocket space in here, so I didn't want that to accidentally get attached down. So what I did is I just run my tape gun, and it's going to mess up on me, believe it or not. Let me see if I can get this fixed real quick. That doesn't usually ever happen, but every once in a while. So let me see if I can get this fixed just a little bit here real quick. Okay. Okay. Okay, and I just used my ATG gun on this. I didn't use any sticky strip. This bag, oh, I should have told you though, on this here, I did run a little bit of sticky strip down a wide piece here so that it would be sure and hang in that fold. I didn't want it coming up in the fold. So once you have this piece in here, and I guess I should have said, before I stuck it down, I took it and kind of creased it. That way I knew that's where that crease would be. You know, and then I stuck my adhesive on it to make sure it got down there. Okay, so then once you've got that in there, then this here just overlaps, and I just left, you know, about so much, maybe a 1/4 inch over here or so open on that side, just like that. So I don't have any stickiness here because I didn't put my adhesive there, and I still have my opening, and then I still have this that is, you know, showing up after the fold over here. Okay, and that made my spot over here. Okay, then from my scrap pieces that I had left from both these 12 by 12s, I cut a piece on my pink polka dot here, and I didn't measure it because it's all I had left. And I'm going to set it right here. It's of course 11 1/4 long. Okay, and it was just the scrap. And then this here was just my scrap from this piece. And I did use a Martha Stewart punch to give it a decorative border. Now some of mine I did and some of them I didn't in my book, so it was just all kind of how I wanted the page to look. So I'm going to stick this down, and I hope I'm not getting out of the camera here. I'm going to stick this down, and I kind of eyeballed it to make sure that I'm, you know, kind of the same even here as these other pieces. So it kind of looked like a continuous page even though it wasn't. Okay, and then I just take my other piece, okay, and I just got it all ready to stick down. Okay, make sure kind of that I've got it going the same size there. Okay, and then there's that. Okay, so there is how I made, you know, my layout for the whole paper. Then I took sticky strip, okay, and I took my sticky strip and I run a piece here and I run a piece here, okay, and then I just stuck it down so that way my pocket was nice and sturdy. And that is exactly how I put each page together with my book, okay? So now, to get on the binding, after you've got that all done and you've got it all decorated, then I would bind it. That's usually the way I do things. I always make sure I have all my papers decorated or pages decorated before I ever stick a binding on in a cover. Then I bought the little binder clips from Walmart, and what I did was I just simply took my seam binding and I just pinched it open, stuck my seam binding in there, of course, and then tied it in a bow. I made sure I had a long enough piece I could tie in a bow, and then I just opened it up. After my page was decorated, excuse me, I just took it and I started at the top on my very first month and I just pinched it over, and I went down each month. So my whole book, when you look from the side, had each seam binding just going straight down till I got to the end. So anyway, that held all 12, and of course you'll have to decorate this over here before you can put your clip on anyway. But anyway, that's how I did my clips. Okay, for the binding, of course I papered, whoops, I shouldn't say I papered. I actually got my chipboard, and you're going to have 2 pieces that measure 8 3/4 by 12, because you want a little bit of hangover. You want it a little bit wider than your bags, and you want it a little bit longer than your bag. So anyway, 2 pieces of chipboard, or at 8 3/4 by 12. Okay, then I papered my chipboard, and the paper that I used is Daisy D's. Oh gosh, I had it wrote down because Kim told me, let me go get it and I'll be right back. Okay, the paper that I used for my covers was Daisy D's Paper Company number 10034 Carte Postel. That is the name of the paper. And thank you, Kim, for finding that, because after I chopped it up, I couldn't remember what paper I used. So anyway, but you paper your whole piece of cardstock or chipboard. Okay, and you want to do that on your front and your back cover. And then you're going to take just your sticky strip, and I'm not going to take sticky strip. I'm just going to I want to save my chipboard here. So what you do is you're just going to take your sticky strip, and I would definitely sticky strip all the way around my bag and in the middle a couple of times. Okay, and what you want to do is you want it even with your bags. You don't want it to come out too far at all. You just want it at least even with your bags when you adhere it on. And for the back, I'm just going to use this little piece because, like I said, I don't want to waste my chipboard after I've sticky stripped it down. So okay, and you do want these pretty well even when you put them on with your other piece. That way you don't have your binding going sideways. Okay, so here's my papered chipboard for my covers. Then I took a piece of, and I used brown cardstock, and it measured 6 by 12. Now, it's ever how wide you want yours to come out. because this is going to go around your entire book right here. Okay, and if you want to kind of roll it a little bit to make it rollier, that's how I did that. And you can kind of judge once you have your book all done, you know, how much of this you want to show, because whatever you've got over here is going to be paper over here showing, you know. So you just kind of determine. I never like to use that much. I want more of my paper showing. So my binding, the one I had, was just like I said, it's just a 6x12 piece. Now, I used Claudine Helmuth Sticky Back Canvas. I used a 6x12 piece because I wanted this entire thing covered on my cardstock. So on the back of my cardstock, not the side that I wanted to show, I simply sticky stripped everywhere. I sticky stripped across the top and the bottom and down the sides, and then I also made sure I run some sticky strip in the center. And I know this is a sticky back canvas, but I like it to be extra sticky, I guess. I just don't want it to have any means of coming off. So what I did was I took the sticky back side and stuck it to my cardstock, okay? And like I said, I'm not going to use a whole piece of sticky back canvas neither. So anyway, you can buy these online. I don't know if you can buy them in the stores. I bought mine online, but you can get some in 12 by 12 sheets, so that's perfect. You can get it in the 8.5 by 11 sheets. So get you a 12 by 12 and then just cut it down. You can use your cutter here, your Fiskus cutter, your trimmer to cut this. It's real easy. And then just kind of, once you got your sticky strip all on, or your canvas all on, just kind of give it a little roll and it'll kind of roll for you. And then what I did, because I used brown cardstock and everything I had was brown, I just took some brown ink and I inked it up excuse me, on the back side so that it was nice and brown and not white showing. Okay, then once you have that done, you want to be sure and get you some, if you're not using sticky strip, just be sure you're getting something really strong. And then what I did was I kind of placed it, because my book was really thick, and I just kind of placed it and I looked so that I could make sure that I was getting even on both ends. Oops, right here I was getting even, you know, it was coming out pretty well even on both sides, in the back and the front. And then I know that I've got maybe an inch that I want to be sure gets nice and stuck down. So what you want to do, excuse me, what you want to do then is run sticky strip down the edge of your chipboard. Okay? Then you want to take a piece of sticky strip and run it down the edge. Now if you're using 1/2 inch, that's good, or inch. If you're using 1/4 of an inch sticky strip, then you'll want to run at least two, to make you a 1/2 inch sticky spot there. And same way here, run you at least 2 if you're using the 1/4 inch, okay? And then what you do is you simply take and just do one side at a time. So, you know, do your front side first. That's what I would suggest. And get it stuck kind of where, you know, I showed you have about that inch there, okay? And you stick it down. Now you're going to be sticking it to your paper. So once it's there, if you take it off, you're going to rip your paper. So there's that. Now this in here is going to be just your canvas. You don't want anything sticking. You don't want anything sticking to your bags. You just want it to stick on the front and the back. So same way on the back. You're going to have your chipboard all nice and covered with your pattern paper. And then you're going to take your sticky strip. And I always use 1/2 inch when I'm doing projects like this. So I run a 1/2 inch down my chipboard. And then another 1/2 inch here, okay, on the edge of the paper. And then same way, and your book is going to be really thick, so you're really not going to have to measure to come out even too bad. Excuse me. Okay, so then there is your binding. That's your binding for your book. And it looks funny because there's just 2 bags in there, but if there were 12, it would be really a lot a lot better. So anyway, that is exactly how you do the binding, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, I hope that helps you. If you have any questions, just be sure and message me. I'll be glad to answer them for you, or email me. Always glad to answer your questions for you. Thanks so much for watching.